Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. The God of Justice, Focalers, also known as Furina, will come in the first half of patch 4.2, and in this video I am going to talk about Furina and her complete guide, including her farming materials, her playstyle, what weapons she'll use, what artifacts she'll use, what's the best team comps for her, details about her constellations and more. Before we hop into the video, I just want to say that if you find this video helpful or informative, then please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing as well. With that being said, let's hop right in. For Furina's Ascension materials, first you need to farm Lakelight Lily, the local specialities of Fontaine. You need to collect 168 for her. I will make a farming guide video of Lakelight Lily as soon as possible. Water that failed to transcend is dropped by the Hydroculus. Defeat the Hydroculus and collect 46 of this drop. Kill every Whopperflowers and collect 36 of Whopperflower nectar, 96 of shimmering nectar and 129 of energy nectar. For Hydro stones, collect 1 small, 9 medium, 9 large and 6 extra large stones. You can always change the stones from other elemental stones by using Dust of Azoth. For leveling up her talents to 90, you need to farm Justice series from Pale Forgotten Glory Domain at Fontaine on Tuesday, Friday and Sunday. Collect 9 of brown books, 63 of silver books and 114 of the golden books, and finally for her boss drops, you need to defeat the new whale boss, all-devouring narwhal, at Fontaine and collect 18 of its unknown drops. Furina is a 5-star Hydro sword user whose kit revolves around summoning Hydro mimics to deal Hydro damage while players swap to another character. Furina's normal attack performs 4 consecutive strikes dealing physical damage. Her charged attack changes her arc alignment from Uzia to Numa. Besides, her normal attack, based on her arc alignment, will cause a Surging Blade or Spirit Breath Thorn to descend, which deals Hydro damage. Furina's elemental skill has 2 different effects based on her current arc alignments. With Uzia, she deals AoE Hydro damage based on her max HP and summons 3 Hydro mimics. This mimics will deal Hydro damage based on Furina's max HP. If characters with more than 50% HP are nearby, the mimics will consume their HP and increase their current attack's power based on the number of characters who have lost HP. With Numa, she summons the Singers of the Streams, who will heal nearby active characters based on Furina's max HP. Furina's Elemental Burst deals AoE Hydro damage. In this state, all party members enter to the Universal Revelry state. When nearby party members' HP increases or decreases, they will give Furina 1 fanfare point based on the percentage of HP changes. At the same time, Furina will increase the damage dealt by the mimics and incoming healing bonus of all nearby party members based on the amount of fanfare she has. Her first Ascension passive is quite nice. If your party is healed and the healing overflows, Furina starts healing an active character for 2% of their max HP for 4 seconds. With her 4th passive, for every 1000 HP of Furina, the Uzia aligned mimics increases the damage dealt by each member by 0.7% up to 28%. Similarly, for the Numa aligned mimics increase the active character healing interval by 0.4% up to 16%. For her talent priorities, I recommend prioritizing her elemental skill first, then her elemental burst at C0 to C5. At C6, Furina can be built for hypercarry, and hypercarry Furina should prioritize her normal attacks first. Then level up her skill and then her burst. Furina is a unique character who can switch between Uzia and Numa, which will change her playstyle from dealing damage to healing. Therefore, choosing the right weapon for Furina is crucial for her performance. Furina's best in-slot weapon is her signature weapon, Splendors of Still Water. This weapon gives an insane amount of crit damage of 88.2%, while also buffing her skill and HP percent of equipping character whenever someone's HP increase or decrease. Key of Kaj Nisset gives 66% HP and additional 20% HP from its passive. This weapon also gives Elemental Mastery buff, which can be a huge boost in some teams. If you are using this weapon on Furina, then you can use a Hydro Damage Goblet or Energy Recharge Sands on her, so that you don't overcap on your HP and lose out on damage. Light of Foliar Incision offers crit damage substat and also increases crit rate. It also buffs Furina's elemental skill damage that comes with the weapon's passive, but she'll need to do a normal attack first to proc it. Primordial Jade Cutter benefits from the massive crit rate, and the extra 20% HP from the passive will buff her overall damage. When choosing the right 4-star weapon, Festering Desire is Furina's best F2P weapon. With a good amount of energy recharge, this sword heavily buffs elemental skill damage and provides free crit rate. Dakan's Assistant is the best 4-star option if you have low HP. This weapon gives a good amount of HP percent and provides up to 12 energy particles, which reduces her energy requirements. Favonia's Sword is also great as it gives energy to your whole team and also reduces Furina's energy requirements. Battle Pass subscribers can get several copies of the new weapon, Wolffang. It has 510 attack and 27.6% crit rate at max level, which are good stats. Also, it will provide elemental skill and burst buffs for Furina. Sadly, this weapon is 100% unobtainable for F2P players since you must spend real-life money to purchase the Gnostic Hymn. For F2P players, Fleuve Cendre Ferryman is a good option since Furina can benefit from the small crit rate buff onto her elemental skill. She also can utilize the energy boost since she has a 70 burst cost as well. There are few other options to choose, but try to focus on energy recharge and HP percent weapons, which will be beneficial for Furina's kit. Furina's best artifact is Golden Troop, the new artifact added with patch 4.0 along with Marichau's Hunter set. The 4-piece set increases elemental skill damage by 25%. Additionally, when the character is not on the field, elemental skill damage will be further increased by 25%. It's the most preferable set for Furina, because it heavily buffs her elemental skill, which accounts for the majority of her damage. Some of us might not want to invest the resin into a completely new artifact set. In that situation, you can go for 4-piece Verukash's Glow, where the 2-piece set increases HP to 20%, and the 4-piece set increases elemental skill and elemental burst damage by 10%. After the equipping character takes damage, the aforementioned damage bonus is increased by 80% for 5 seconds. If you don't have those artifacts, then you can also use 2-piece sets of 2 ideal artifacts to get a serviceable build. For example, combining 2-piece Tenacity of the Millilith for 20% HP buff and 2-piece Emblem of Severed Fate for 20% energy recharge. Don't forget that her kit revolves around her HP. In that case, it still makes the most sense to give her a HP percent goblet. Then, complement that with an HP percent Sands and crit damage or crit rate circlet. You can also use Hydro Goblet if she's using sword with a lot of HP percent like Key of Kaj Nisset. Focus on energy recharge, HP percent, crit damage and crit rate for Furina's artifact Substats. Her HP or HP percent and energy recharge is most important because of her burst uptime, which will cost 60 energy. Crits are also important stats to round out the build. Furina's biggest problem is her energy regeneration. She does not generate particles upon casting her elemental skill. That's why you have to focus on her energy recharge along with her HP percent. Generally, it should be between 180 to 280 energy recharge depending on team comps and equipments. With 2 Hydro characters and Favonius or non-Favonius Sword, she needs up to 180 to 200% energy recharge. Otherwise, with only Furina in your team, she needs up to 300% energy recharge for her burst uptime. In that case, you have to stack as much energy as you can from your teams and your artifacts or weapons. Most of Furina's Constellations is only a DPS increase. Her C1 automatically grants 150 stacks of her elemental burst buff and increases the cap by another 100. With C2, it enhances the effect of the elemental burst, doubling the increase in fanfare. This will provide a greater increase in damage and healing bonus for the team. In addition, each fanfare over the limit increases Furina's max HP by 0.35%. Normally, Furina won't get any energy from her skill or burst, but with C4, Furina recovers 4 energy every 5 seconds when her elemental skill heals an active character or deals damage. And finally with her C6, Hydro infuses with her normal, charged and plunging attacks when she casts her elemental skill. This buff increases the damage of all her attacks and provides additional healing to the entire party. This constellation allows Furina to act as a hypercarry unit. As a Hydro unit, Furina is suitable for most teams as a sub-DPS or support, because of her ability to switch the buffs using her elemental skill and elemental burst, which deals damage to the enemies and also heals the active character. Therefore, she is potentially a great unit for any team. However, to use the buffs perfectly, a condition must be met, where the HP of the party members must constantly increase or decrease. This suggests that Furina's best synergy occurs with Fontaine characters or those who increase or decrease their HP in some way. Team with Neuvillette helps Furina gain fanfare to activate the buff from her elemental burst for bonus damage and healing, where Nahida or Fischl also helps Neuvillette to deal reaction damage. Kuki Shinobu or Beizu will heal the entire team and also provide a shield. The second team with Wriothesley or Ayaka, where Furina activates Uzia mode to inflict Hydro buff and Elemental burst to buff all the party members. If the buff is not enough, you can put Xingqiu, Yellen or Mona to get Hydro resonance. For Cryo boost, Shenna, Kazuha or Sucrose are suitable, where Diona and Charlotte work as battery and healer. For Hu Tao, Furina can be a good partner and significantly increases her DPS. Since Furina's Hydro status is not very stable, it is better to put Xingqiu or Yellen so that Hu Tao causes vaporized damage, and also you can use shield characters, so you don't have to use Furina's healing skill on Hu Tao. Another team with Pyro damage dealers through the Vaporize reaction, where Furina acts as a buffer and an additional source of Hydro application. If she is the only Hydro character on the team, you can put Barbara or Kokomi as a healer, which will balance things out a bit. Team through Hydro Resonance, where Furina increases the damage of Tartaglia or Ayato with her elemental skill and burst. Xiangling, Dea or Toma apply Pyro to trigger the Vaporize reaction. And Bennett, who buff attack, provides healing along with Pyro Resonance. Jean with instant healing and Anemo Shred, and Chi-Chi with healing, cryo application for freezing or melting, are suitable as a support. Bloom and Hyperbloom teams with Nilou, where Furina provides additional healing and a percentage increase in damage. In this team, Dendro characters use their skill to apply Dendro so that Hydro characters create Dendro buds and blast them to deal damage. In this case, you have to take a shielder or healer to save yourself from the damage of Dendro buds. For F2P teams, you can use Vaporize, Melt and Freeze reactions, where Xiangling and Kea work as sub-DPS unit. Hydro Traveler creates Hydro Resonance. Traveler will also lose HP during a long press of the elemental skill, allowing Furina to gain fanfare for buffs. At the same time, Furina can heal the team if necessary. Hydro Traveler can be replaced with Lynette for Anemo Shred. Instead of Kea, Barbara or Noelle will be suitable for shielding, healing and Hydro Resonance. There are few more characters which will synergize perfectly with Furina in different types of teams. Try to mix and match them to make a great team. Even though Furina's Hydro infusion only appears when unlocking C6, she can still be played as a C6 unit without Constellations if she has Candace in her team, which will convert her normal attacks into Hydro. This is not a full replacement for the 6th constellation, since her normal attack will not receive increased damage from HP, but it does provide an opportunity to diversify the goofy gameplay or some meme builds. Alright, so that's everything about Furina and her complete guide. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know about your thoughts on Furina and I'll catch you guys in the next one.